When we got to Buffalo, I thought from Buffalo to the end was the beginning of the end, so it was the ending phase. Part of what drove me through the last phase was reflecting back on the whole trip and what I put into it. So I look back and we look back with the different members of the trip to see how they reflect on the trip.
I first heard about Steve's trip from his sister Kathy. It was probably this spring. And when she told me that he was going to bike across the country from Portland, Oregon to Portland, Maine, I thought Steve was crazier than a loon.
I really didn't know. I was really not sure. I felt like we were gonna know really early, within the first week or two, if he had it in him or not.
All throughout the country, people spoke with us and just immediately showed concern when we said, yeah, we're biking cross country, we're ending in Portland, Maine, and they're thinking, really? Winter coming by, you know, mid-November, you're ending in Portland, Maine? Most people just, oh man, they didn't think he could do it.
But then I talked to Steve and he told me that he had been training for 16 months for this trip. That in and of itself really didn't change my mind because I know the hills around where he lives are not the same as going through the Rocky Mountains or the Bitterroots or the Sawtooth Mountains. And I really didn't think that he was going to make it. I thought I would probably end up picking him up sometime, you know, by the road in Idaho or someplace like that.
I would probably have some doubts and have some internal struggles, like mentally, if it were me, but I don't really see that with Steve, like at all.
I think in the back of my mind, I do know that I thought of, this is pretty audacious at my age to do this. I mean, lots of people bike across the country and they have support and all that, but doing it the way I wanted to do it, it was a pretty big, audacious goal. And I think it was one of those kinds of things that in the back of my mind, I could prove to myself that I could accomplish a pretty audacious goal. Set the bar pretty high for me and accomplish it, because I was a pretty overweight guy before I started.
And I saw him and he had lost 50 pounds and was in really great shape. I knew he was committed. And I know, knowing Steve, I know he could do it because he's just committed, and whatever he started in life, he's always finished, so.
But the training that he got and the work that he put into it just amazed me. And it's amazed me that he's done it every day he's had to. He's gone up steep climbs, he's gone down steep slopes, he's done it in rain, he's done it in hot weather. And I am just amazed that he's 69 years old. And to do this at that age, to me, is outstanding.
I mean, when the second day we started out, it just rained like crazy the whole day, and he never slowed down, he just kept going.
Learned a lot from Steve in perseverance, climbing those hills, getting up the next morning.
Each day got a little harder, and I knew that when we hit the Adirondacks, it was going to start to get tough. And it did start to get tough, and then we had really tough rain days. So I was worried about Vermont and New Hampshire and the climbs, because I thought the climbs would be steeper, and they were steeper than out in the Rockies.
I don't think there's anything else in the world that he would rather be doing. He loves riding his bike.
And I thought there was nothing holding me back. I'm going to get over there and I'm going to get to Portland.
He's an animal on that bike. He's crazy.
What I wanted people to realize is that this trip was a bike trip, but it is about raising money for this fellowship. And that we interviewed these really interesting people. They're all entrepreneurs. And the metaphor is, what did they say? They all had a dream. I had a dream. They all prepared for if you're going to be a successful entrepreneur, you got to think about and do some research and prepare. Then they leapt and made decisions, and they kept going forward, but they were flexible and they were determined. And I think the ride is kind of a metaphor for what you got to do to be a successful entrepreneur.